Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. We are joined by Paul McAllister to talk about another absolute shit show. Let's just get that out straight away. Shit show at Goodison Park again. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to find scores, stats and the latest news all in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. You can find all these amazing results that Everton seem to turn up with every single week.
On that app.
On that app.
As well as other teams.
They love me for saying that. Yeah. I knew we were getting beat in this game because I just knew that Wolves are better than us. And guess what? Wolves are better than us. The table doesn't lie. They are better than us. But I was a little bit disturbed by how much, not how much better than us they are, but just how a lot more happier they seem. Yeah. For a team that was separated by 2 points before the game started, I was amazed in the levels of happiness, might be the wrong word, but just attitude and also togetherness. I'll keep reeling them off because there's actually a few, isn't there? Just players looking like they all bought in to the same system and they were all really happy playing together. Whereas you looked at us, and this is what annoys me probably more than anything, and it shows that there only been 2 points gap before the game. That actually, if our players had some of that, we'd be miles ahead of them. Because if we've got backfired with shite performances, then our players must just do enough to win some games of football. If we had what they had, I think we'd be, well, at least we'd be in 7th, put it that way.
Well, our players, I just don't think the attitude's awful. I think there's no motivation with them. As we were saying off camera a second ago, I think they just turn up and they think, I can't be arsed today. I'll do the absolute bare minimum and I'll see if I can get away with it. And when they all do, if 1 or 2 do that, you can probably get away with that. But when 7 or 8 players are all just turn up thinking, no, I really can't be doing with this today. I don't want to run around and sweat. I don't want to be snapping people. I don't want to be putting my foot in where it hurts. I don't want to be doing all the dirty work. If it doesn't come easy to me, then I don't want it then. Whereas all their players, they fight for their manager. They really look like they believe in him. And when what's the word? What I'm thinking of. The thing with Silver is, I just don't think these players, I don't think they're having him. I don't think they're playing for him. I really don't. I don't think it's anything personal. I don't think he's hated or nothing like that, like they all do with Allardyce. I think they just look at this fella and they're not buying into his ideas. If they are, then they're not showing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point about buying into his ideas. Because what we have seen in the last couple of years, last 2 or 3 years, whether you like it or not, and I wouldn't go as far as calling it player power as such, where you look at teams and you look at players and then look, Man United is the perfect example this year, because I think what that is, I think with those players, I think maybe it's about a 50-50 split on who you blame on the reaction. But I think most people go, they fucking hated playing under Mourinho because he suffocated the way they all want to play, and you see that now. Some people will believe otherwise. Some people go, they should have done that for but if the manager's tactics suffocate what you want to do, and I'm not saying it's the same for this manager that we've got now, but if players don't enjoy playing this system, you can feel it. And when they get a new manager, sometimes who lets them play, it's lifted. You've seen it loads of times. You've seen it at Chelsea when Mourinho was left and they went on and won the Champions League. When he left and they were 13th, and you've seen it with Leicester a little bit the second season, the season after they won the league. It's this, I don't know whether that is it, whether the players just simply don't like playing the system, but sometimes you've just got to meet the manager halfway and just get on with it. But you've been very quiet, come on. Are you sick?
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I'm just listening to different points of view.
Throw an input in, for God's sake.
I think
you're not liking the system while we're playing it.
What I think was Everton Saturday was the desire from their players. Yeah. Everton players don't have desire. Everton players are all pretty footballers. They're all good, clever footballers. But clever as in with the ball, not clever as in they understand how to play the game. What was evident to me was how much Wolves wanted to keep the ball out their net. They made sure they got blocks in. They made sure no one was free off corners and set pieces. Yeah. They were all this man-to-man zone at Wolves mark zonally at Saturday, but they made sure they won the first ball. And if they didn't win the first ball, he made sure everybody got on the second ball. Whereas Everton don't. Everton just, it's almost like we've been told to do this thing, so we'll do this thing. And if there's a variable in that thing that they've been told to do, they don't respond to it. So they all line up brilliantly on the zones like they're supposed to. But if you run off, well, the manager never told me that you were going to run off, so I'm just going to leave you. They don't go, well, Paul's running, I better go. And we saw that with the, I know we'll come on, but we saw that with the second goal. Someone does something different and they don't know how to react. And we saw it at Millwall last week.
Yeah.
Three goals, 3 times someone ran somewhere else and we didn't respond. And that, watching them at the weekend, there was a clear message. Listen, the manager's all that on the line, great, brilliant. But all the lads who had the gold shirts on at the weekend, for them, they all knew what they were doing and they all made sure. And the biggest one was Conor Cody, who used to be at Liverpool. He was the biggest one, he was man of the match, he organised them, he was screaming, he was dragging people into position, he made sure he got his head on it. The kids should have walked. There was a foul on the booking, but Lee Mason's a gobshite, so that's never happening. But in general, he was the one driving them on and making sure they put... When do you ever see an Everton centre-back get the line, pushing people out? Well, none of them. No. They just had their head down and they're that worried, excuse me, about doing their own job.
Yeah.
They're not caring about anyone else either. And I think there's too much of that in our team. They're all thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
And it was very evident Wolves didn't. Wolves were buying into, apart from when Raul went down, and no one gave a shit because they knew he dived when he got to him. But no one even went over to him. He was just like, oh, not him again. But in general, they were all together. The fans buy into it, the coaching staff and the manager, and it was a bit of a chalk and cheese.
Where do you put the blame, Paul, for this at the moment? Do you look at the manager squarely on, or the players, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of both,
yeah.
But this group of players is better than what it's shown. This group of players should be 7th easily. You've got a lot of players there who played for big clubs and have done alright at big clubs. They should not be getting had off by the likes of West Ham and by the likes of Brighton and by the likes of Wolves who we've lost to. We've shown how good they were when they played that lot in the derby. That's how good Everton can be with this squad of players. They can compete, but as we've said, when they turn up, I just feel like, you know what, I can't be bothered today, or I'm just going to do what the manager told me and I'm not going to be proactive, I'm just going to be reactive. The thing with the manager is, I don't want to be calling for his head. I think it's not really fair because he's not had too long.
You're not allowed to on this show anyway.
No,
you're not allowed to. It's out there in the rules. Yeah, the rules say that Baz doesn't allow it.
I just hang on. Let me just throw the caveat in there. I just play devil's advocate with that. With that, I'm saying, if you call him for his head, who do we get in that? Why will it be different? I know you're not saying that.
No.
So back to what you said, just him being it.
What I mean is, I don't think it's not fair to just say, oh, the manager's all this, he's crap, he's rubbish, get rid of him. I think he deserves some of the criticism he's getting.
Yeah, 100%.
100% he does. I've seen some people saying, oh, get a grip of yourselves, like, oh, I bet you can't wait to boo at the end of matches. It's like, oh, yeah, do you think
at the end of matches? The first minute, the second minute, the third minute.
I've read a few people saying, I bet some of our fans go the game wanting us to lose. And
I hate stuff like that.
I don't buy into that. That's just people wanting to be miserable for the sake of being miserable. But one thing I'll say about the manager is, I don't think the message is not getting across to the players. And if he can't communicate to the players what he wants them to do, he might have it all up here, but if he can't get it out here, can't get it out of his mouth, and it's not sinking in with the players, and it's been 6 months, then is it ever going to sink in with them? Really?
I'll tell you what I noticed a big difference between us and them on Saturday. The fight that you talk about.
Yeah.
I think that comes from the fact that that group of players played in the Championship together.
Grown.
And had to fight out of the Championship. And let's remember, when they played in the Championship, they were a Premier League team playing. They made that team last season, and they were a Premier League team playing in the Championship. They pissed the Championship, and everyone was like, and we've said it, everyone's probably said it, but will he do it? And because we weren't watching them every week, you don't get that understanding that they're together all as one. But they fought for that, and they've got quality players, but they've also got the Conor Codys who've been everywhere with Wolves, who've fought and have got better. We've got a group of players that, in all respects to them, they're all good players that weren't good enough to get in someone else's team.
Yeah,
all of them, apart from a couple like Pickford and Sigurdsson. No, Sigurdsson wasn't good enough to get in the Spurs team. Let's get it right. We got him from Swansea, but he wasn't good enough to get in the Spurs team.
No.
Listen, I'm fucking Sigurdsson's biggest fan, but I know that Gomez wasn't good enough to get in the Barcelona team. Dean wasn't good enough to get in the Barcelona team. Mina wasn't good enough to get in the Barcelona team. Zuma isn't good enough to get in the Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Keane we bought from Burnley. Baines we've always had. You know, Walcott wasn't good enough to get in the Arsenal team. Alright, Bernard was on a free transfer. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about players who aren't good enough to get in the top teams that have come to our place and don't have to fight.
Yeah, they've all come from different backgrounds, haven't they? Yeah.
Walcott, why is he anywhere near the first team? What has he done to justify being back in the side on Saturday? And yet he walks into the side. Why? Why aren't we giving Lookman a go or giving Bernard a go? All right, maybe Bernard's not fit, or I don't know. But why is Lookman not playing? So that's where we are at the moment. We've got players who've walked into our team because they weren't good enough for someone else, and that shows me that there mightn't be that bit of fight in all of them. And I suppose now that's what we need to go and get. And as you see in their players as well, or you see in other players, you go out and buy a type of player that hasn't been pampered, that hasn't had the luxury, that hasn't been used to just sitting on a bench and going, well, this is all right, isn't it? I'm still getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we've got at the moment, and it's all right saying, we bought him from Barcelona and him from Barcelona. Well, did you, or did you buy them off the bench? Because that's the reality of what we've been buying. So maybe now, and I'm open brands, and I'm sure brands will be looking at it, and saying, well, you know what, I'm going to go and buy character. I'm going to go and buy a kid. The lad that we've been linked with, the winger from Holland. Lozano's a perfect. You look at like Mexican players.
Yeah, they're hungry,
and South American players, a lot of South American players in general, they've got that hunger in them. They've got that fight, that desire. You still watch, Suarez playing at 30-31 for Barcelona. He's made all the money in the world. He's won all the cups in the world. He doesn't have to fight, but it's in him. You see, and maybe that's what we're missing. Maybe that's where the character comes from. That's what I'm saying about Conor Cody on Saturday. There's a player got released by Liverpool and he's gone, I'm going to have to fight for everything here. And you see it when he plays football, ours are all just, it's not a personal thing.
No.
It's more you just look at them and go, you've not had to fight for anything in your career. If you weren't good enough to play for one club, another club would quickly bought you and give you 120 grand a week. So that's the player we're dealing with at the moment, and that's where you go, well, they're good enough, but have they got that hunger inside to fight? And we simply haven't. So we're going to have to go and find players that, the quality might just drop off a little bit, but they'll make up for it. And I think that's what we're massively missing at the moment. And we're talking about leaders. It only takes one, I think. It only takes one to turn around to everyone else and go, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Make the other lot, everyone else, look like knobheads by charging around that pitch.
Yeah.
We seen a couple of years ago when James McCarthy when we played against Arsenal, and we were expected to lose, and James McCarthy started just legging around the pitch like a lunatic, and then the next minute Ross started, and then a couple of others. We end up winning the game. James McCarthy takes that into the derby a couple of weeks later, and it's there again. And I don't know, I'm not saying James McCarthy's the answer, but that kind of attitude, I don't know if he's still got that attitude, but that kind of attitude...
Oh, he's still here. Where is he?
He's still about. He's obviously still not fit enough. But it's infectious. It's infectious if the fans get onto it. And that's exactly what we're all missing as fans as well, is that one player to go, fucking hell, look at this, he's going for it. And it's why we fucking cheer people like Nias.
Yeah.
And, because they show hunger and desire. Alan Meyer said it right on Twitter on Saturday night. He said, people talk about Everton fans as being the hardest fans to impress. He said, we're fucking the easiest. He said, all you've got to do is pull on a shirt and run round a little bit, and we fucking serenade you like a hero.
Like Besic did nothing while he was here, and he's loved by a lot of people.
Besic is another perfect,
because he runs around and because he kicks the odd
and because he punches the floor, because it looks like it means something to him. Whereas our players just walk off the pitch and go.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse is that is sort of sunk into some of the younger players now. So whereas like Tom, first season he got into the team, we fucking raved about him because we seen a kid who fucking would die for the shirt. Now you see him and he's almost been pulled into it. I'm a professional now. In fact, I'm one of the senior players. I can't act like that anymore. That's exactly what we need. I just wish someone like Morgan Feeney was a little bit more developed and a little bit longer down the line. Do you know what I mean? Because you put him in the team, you know what you're going to get from him. I don't think he's anywhere near ready yet, but you just wish there was someone like that just ready to come into this team and just, do you know what, even if it just made a dickhead of everyone else, like Tom did when he came into the team. Chelsea away 5-0, getting beat 5-0. Kid went on and started just wanting it, while everyone else was like, he made dickheads that height of everyone else on our team, and we. That's for me what this club simply hasn't got a grip of. That mix that Moyes used to get a spot on. We've talked about it before. Hard-working players with a sprinkling of class. Yeah. We've got no hard work players and a little sprinkling of class, but without the hard work, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere.
I think there's a lot of very good players in our team, but the aptitude and the ability, not the ability, but the desire to do the dirty work, I don't think they want to do it. I don't even know if it's a conscious thing of I can't be asked. I just think some of them probably think they're too good to do that naughty shit, which is getting blocks in and making sure you're hard to. I mean, someone put a clip on Twitter this morning, David Boyce asking him when he was at one of the games, and he was saying like, "What's an Everton?" I'm not.
That's an Everton player, yeah.
Boyce back, by the way, but I'm just saying he done, and he was like, "Well, you've got to." The Evertonians expect you to get out with that shirt on and show it means something, and you work hard, and then obviously they like good footballers, and the best player is the mix of that. Then the fans buy into it. The fans aren't buying into this because it's not. I don't think it's necessarily Marco Silva either. I think they're looking at what's in front of them. We've done loads of stuff on how do we make the atmosphere better, and I've always said, well, it's a bit of both, because the fans have to do it, because it's our job, it's all we can do. But on Saturday, I don't blame any Everton fan for being quiet. None. Because when you're watching a team not compete, which we didn't compete, we passed it around brilliantly. We had 65% of the ball. And at times, it looks like it's almost there. We'll cut through them, and we get to the edge of the box, and then it's slowed, and we turn and pass it back. The amount of time Seamus Coleman passes it back now is incredible. I lost count Saturday, it was about 30 times. Gets it, doesn't want to attack, he just passes it back. The move breaks down. We get it up to the halfway line, we turn and look to go backwards. We're going that way. Where's the desire? Where's the desire to get out fast to someone and put a block in? Where's the desire to grab someone of the opposition? Where when one of our players is flattened? Where's the 5 men round the referee? Lee Mason took the piss Saturday. What did we do? You sure, ref?
It's one of them, innit? Yeah.
Are you sure, ref? We had a throw in. We took it. We broke it. It was 3-on-1. Richarlison sprayed the ball. He blew his whistle, dragged us back to take the throw in exactly the same place. Even the linesman went. The linesman went as if like, I don't know why he's brought it back. And he couldn't answer it. We broke 3-on-1. It was 1-1 at the time in the first half.
Yeah.
We took a quick throw in, switched. Richarlison went past one, switched it out wide. Walcott was in, and he blew the whistle and brought it back for us to take the throw in, and not one Everton player surrounded him going, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Why have you brought it back? Tell me. Because we just go.
That's just something I think, again, it's been lost since I think Moyes went. One thing that sticks out, do you remember, was it in that game we got 3-3 with United, where we were 3-1 down?
Yeah.
And we got it back to 3-3, and then we were charging forward to
get
the foot to get forth. And then the referee blows up the minute Chad's just getting ready to have a shot, and Moyes and Steve Round run on the pitch and scream in his face, going, what the F are you doing? What are you doing? You wouldn't be doing that if it was the other way round. And then he's getting asked about it in the post-match, and he didn't just go, oh no, it was nothing. I was a bit annoyed. He was like, no, that's a disgrace. That you got to let the passage of play come to the end. What's the referee doing? That was the other way round. It wouldn't happen like that. Where's all that?
That's when you've just scored 2 goals in injury time.
We're doing our lorry here. We'll just take this point and run off. Like, no, what are you do? We could have won that game then. What is this official doing? I want an explanation. And there's none of that now.
But that's why us as fans, we had that affinity with Moyes. All right, he had his shortcomings. There's no question about that. But we were also skint, by the way, and I don't fucking want to do anything. But because he would say things that you were feeling, where
straight talk.
Where too often now, you're right. It's like what I say to the players is like Silva said at the weekend. I'm angry. It's all come out today. They know I'm angry, they've seen it, but what I say to you, I'm calm, which is fine. But us as fans, I'd rather than
I don't buy into that.
That was a disgrace. That's
the same as Martin. That's the same as Martin. His happy face all the time. It doesn't wash with fans. This is what we did. We did something on this last week on the Tuesday topic on Patreon about having an identity as a club. And I think Jermaine Jenas spoke about it on Match of the Day, saying, what are Everton now?
Yeah, what are they?
And he's at he's absolutely right to ask the question, because as a fan, and I think this is what we've lost since we've lost Moyes. I don't care whether people like Moyes or don't like Moyes. I personally thought the man was brilliant for the club. Okay, I ultimately knew that he was not going to win anything for us. But if you think about what he did and what we're doing now, it seems like it was good times. But it was that idea that he knew how to tap into the fan base and knew what the fan base wanted, and sometimes knew what the fan base did. But sometimes he went against the fan base on purpose, almost to go, I'll show you who's boss here. And then when he got it right, fucking used to take his. Remember we talked about this last week? Anachabi, when brought Anachabi on and he scored, and all the fans were moaning. He took his coat off and started lashing it, and people were like, "Fair enough, you've made us look like dickheads here." But that's that idea of going, do you know what? Like City on Wednesday, if you've got a manager who's been around the club, or there's people at the club who know how fans feel, you will put James McCarthy in the team, and you'd go, I know you're not fit, lad, but get out there and fucking just
get these fans on side.
Get these fans up. Sometimes that's all you need to do as a manager. You forget about all your principles and what you want to do, and you go, just get out there and you fucking hit one of them, and then you tell into it the next one, you tell into the next one, and you tell into the next. If I see fucking one of you hit the same, make 2 fouls in a row, you fucking had it. You hit the next one, you hit the next. That's what shite talk managers do a lot of the time. Imagine Neil Warnock, he probably goes, play some good football. No, I know it's not a great example, but he's desperate for points. So he goes, you hit him. Don't hit the same man twice. Don't get booked. If you do, that's it. You calm down for 10 minutes and let someone else. Could you ever imagine that happening at Everton now? And that's exactly what's needed.
Do we want to do that?
I do want to do that. I would love James McCarthy to start Wednesday and just the first thing he does is not go through someone, but just fucking get late. Just get into someone fairly. And then everyone gets up then from the first minute. Whereas at Goodison at the moment, it's just plod, 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 plod. No tackles in. There's no moments that get you excited. The football, let's get it right. The football is shite as well. Forget about getting beat. Our attacking football is shite. No. It's boring. It's slow. They showed on Saturday that if you've actually got good players, they can make. Those 4 passes we make, you can do that in 1 if you've got a good player, and you switch quicker than what we did. We go boom, 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 boom. Oh, it gets to Seamus Coleman. Let's go back again. Whereas they just got players in midfield who just didn't even have to look. They knew they had runners on every time, and they just played it over the top.
Only what we said they'd do last week, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They play the way they give it to Neves. He switches it right or left without looking, and they have the 2 wing backs coming in. Down the angles, but they've not changed. That was what they'd done day 1 against us. They were wide open day 1, and I thought better team had smashed them, but they've dug in and they've done brilliant. And you're right. We've got our identity as us, but as Evertonians, I don't know what we want, and I'm an Evertonian. I watch every everything. You look at it, we all do. You watch every minute. You go to the game, and I don't know what we want. Do we want a team that plays passing football? Because that's what
I'm not.
No,
honestly,
right. So it
doesn't particularly.
Listen
it's
to
not
me.
Particularly needed.
Right. So what do you want? What do you want as an Evertonian? What do you want to see the team?
I honestly don't give a monkeys if we play passing football, because I've watched it for the last 4 passing.
I'm just asking you.
No, I know, but I've watched.
So do you want?
I want a mix.
Ball to a big
I want a mix of everything. They had a proper number 9 on Saturday playing for them. Everything stuck to him, but often they had a lovely little number 10 in Jota, and it was a mix of both worlds. Yeah. So why can't we have that? We've got it. I don't want to.
No, but what I'm trying to point out is we hated. Koeman didn't have any style. Yeah. So basically, Koeman's style was give it to Lukaku and hope that he scored.
I enjoyed that style.
Yeah, I enjoyed those 10 omens out of 11.
Yeah,
Allardyce was just. I don't know what. I don't even want to think. I think it was just bang it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And Martinez was 9 million passes to go 4 foot, and it was.
5,000 passes is more important than a goal.
That's it. Don't score off set pieces, and it really was. It depressed me. And now, I liked the way we played in October and November with this fella. I really did. We were fast. We won the possession the most in the final third. We pressed the most. We were getting the ball back. I don't know where that's gone. In 2 months, that's evaporated to like you say, it is Martinez shite now. It's just.
Style of play, again, I'm not dead set on having a specific style of
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
I don't give a shite if we win every single game 1-0 and the goal is just a scramble off a corner.
Yeah,
I don't care as long as we win or we get a positive result. During the season we finished 4th under Moyes. We played some of the worst shite you've ever seen. That Marcus Bent just running around chasing
You
shadows.
also played some good football.
We played some good stuff when Gravison was there. Then when Gravison got off, we had no creative player.
Well, that's it.
Well, we did what we needed to do to
Yeah,
win
we
games
just-
of football.
That's all we did. Yeah, we didn't.
I think
We didn't do anything for the sake of doing it. There was a
Well,
reason.
the reason-
Everything we did, there was a reason for it.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking is because people get stuck on styles, don't they? So you go, oh no, well I don't like that kind of football, and you go, well, what is it then? Well, you're right, because that's what I like. I'd like to see a bit of both. I don't mind us playing a long ball, and we've got a quick striker running in behind. Gets fans off the seat. And when are you last off your seat? I bet you on Saturday when the ball got flicked into Tosin, you didn't get off your seat because it was Gomez was doing something our midfielders don't do, running and smashing one in. Obviously, when he left his foot, we were off our seat. But how many times when Everton break do you sit there and go,
This is going
how's
nowhere.
this going to develop? Or you know, when Walcott went through, I was just like, I didn't expect him to score. But for Arsenal, he should dink the keeper there. That was his trademark. Slid in, dinked the goalie, and it was a goal. On Saturday, I knew his touch was terrible. And then he hits it. And that's what I mean with Moyes. And again, it's harping back to Moyes. But I think what Moyes had right more than what the others had ever got right is there was that mix. There was that mix of up and at him. And that got the crowd involved. There was the balls coming into the box. There was the great football with Pienaar and Baines. There was Coleman raiding down the other side. He'd go long when he needed to, up to Duncan or Anitibi, or the football under when we had Yakubu and Andy Johnson and Vaughan and Anity. Boss, them two started, and he'd take them off and bring 2 kids on, and they'd be like, fucking hell, and everyone was like, this is what we just didn't have enough of it. That was all that let Moyes down. And we've lost that with Martinez. And we've certainly lost it since Rom's gone. We haven't got someone to put the ball in the net, so every other failing comes back, doesn't it? Because you haven't got someone at the end of the pitch. If you look at Tosin, he runs around, you go, I really want it to work for him because he wants to do that for the shirt, but he...
You know, we haven't even talked about their goal, their set-piece goal again. You know, zonal, non-zonal, whatever you want to say, man.
I knew that was in when the ball was in the air.
If you've got players like Seamus Coleman who are still looking at the ball when the player he's not, I'm not going to say whether he was marking him or not, but he was in his zone. So it doesn't matter whether it was zonal marking or man marking. The fella that is in your zone just wanders away because he knows where that ball's going, and you're still just looking at that ball rooted to the spot. You wonder why we can, that's why we concede so many goals, because players are just not alive to what's going to happen. As soon as that ball's kicked, I'm thinking, if I was a player, I'm thinking, well, we've held this line to try and make them offside. They're not offside, so move backwards instantly. You know, that was the biggest thing about playing at any level, isn't it? You hold your line, try and get them offside, but as soon as they're not offside, you get back, and you know, Seamus Coleman just stands there.
And Richarlison lets him run past him. So if you're stood by me, or I'm stood by you, you're marking me and I run, surely you've got to try and block me running. You don't just go, oh well, I'll just leave him and just hope he's offside. You go, and he's on the move, and you stand in my way, and if I shrug you off, you go down, the referee might give a free kick, but at least you've halted my run a little bit. But if you just stand there and let me run, what the fuck? What were you doing?
Why are you even there?
And if you were and people can whinge about like zonal and all that, that's fine. But even on a man-to-man, Richarlison and Coleman had Jimenez by them. So even if it was man-to-man, they should have been looking. So if you're man-to-man and you run, you go with them anyway. But neither of them did it. They both just jumped with the foot up after the ball. The lad has jogged and just headed it. And you're like, why haven't you done anything to stop that pattern of play? Just it blows your mind.
All our centre-halves are all groks as well. What's the average height of our team?
They're about, well, don't know.
It's got to be over 6 foot.
They're about 6'5".
Yeah, they're all not level. Me was 6'5".
Keane's 6'4" or 6'3". And Zuma's
6'2", 6'3". Gomez is not a little fella.
No.
By any
well, there's 4. Richarlison's 5'11". He's not tiny.
Yeah.
Tosin's about 5. So there's 5 men, say, in that box, as well as the goal.
We shouldn't be conceding headed goals ever. When we've got so many groks at the back.
It is mind-boggling.
And that's just a ball into an area. That's a floater ball by the penalty spot.
The goalie should be doing better for that. I just told the question out because the question has been asked. My worry is if the goalkeeper comes and doesn't get it, then everyone goes, what's the keeper doing?
To be honest, Pickford shouldn't be having to make that split-second decision.
No, and he won't because I've watched enough to know that he's getting told not to come off his line. He's getting told don't come anywhere because he's obviously not a massive goalkeeper. And people he'll have been told because if you look at it and it's dead easy to say, well, if Pickford comes and gets that, but Pickford has to make up 12 yards there essentially to win that ball and jump and punch it. And if he comes and the ball goes he would have to go early. If it goes somewhere else, it's an open goal. So he'll be getting told that stay on your line, and if they win it, you've got a better chance of saving it, obviously.
Yeah, I think Pickford's got more right to be pissed off about that goal more than anyone, though. Because if I was him, I'd be looking at the fellas in front of me going, why has he just had a free header right in front of me? Do you know what I mean? It's not like the ball's come from over there, it's gone over his head and something like that. It's right in front. You saw the goal coming, the ball's in the air.
That's just
that's it. Where are you all?
We're getting to the point now where we're going to have to start putting walls, honestly, for set pieces, like everywhere. We're going to have to put like 2 men. Honestly, for that free kick on Saturday, if we put 2 men out there, it might have stopped that ball coming in because he wouldn't have been able to get them. That's what we're going to have to start doing because the message, like you were saying before, it's not sinking in.
No.
It is not sinking in. I don't know what he wants, but that's where I think if you've got a leader at centre back, a real leader who's been round the block, I'd have Jags in the team right now, but I think if you've got a leader, he'd go to the manager and go, this is not working. We can't do this, and we need to change, or something has to change, and when you've got that, like when Moyes had Neville, or he had Jags, I suppose, as well. It's that relationship with him where you can go to the manager and go, this is not working, we need to do something. And the manager would take that on board. Again, those relationships haven't been formed yet. Or even if the manager had brought one of his own in, you see that with some managers, they bring a player in they know from somewhere else, and they mightn't be the best player in the world, but if they
Martina,
Liverpool bought when Houllier bought, was it Houllier bought fucking John Pierre Ferry, who was basically the grass
manager snitch, basically.
Yeah. Neville, as Van der Meijden said. But sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that to get that understanding.
Yeah, but
we haven't got anyone at the club at the moment. You imagine?
I keep coming back to it every week. As a player, why aren't they thinking about the game? Why aren't they thinking this ball's coming in? This Jimenez is their most dangerous player. He's running. I've got to run with him and put him off. Why aren't they doing that?
Must be doing it on the training ground.
Yeah, but as a player though, Paul,
I know they've got a brain of themselves,
every time you went and kicked the ball, or you kick a ball, now if you'd have a game with your mates, you don't wait for the lad and someone watching to tell you to run.
I don't think that's how professional football's work, Baz. I really don't. I think the robots.
I don't think it's not getting reinforced in there. One thing when Silva came in that I liked at the time, and I'm thinking, what happened to all this? Remember when he was coming in, he'll stop the training session and he'll tell people where to stand, and if you're not doing this right, he'll pull you and he'll tell you off and say, this is exactly what I want you to be doing.
Well, maybe
this is where you need to be.
Maybe our defenders are waiting for him to
come on the pitch and go, what are you doing?
Where's all that? Yeah. What? So I don't look at him and think, you said to me, in the week Keane got pulled 3 times and got told he's been standing on position. I wouldn't believe it. It's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. The manager, it don't look like they're being told by the manager, and if they are,
also,
as you said, it's clearly not registered.
Also, I'd love to see the manager go, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. I told you 3 times, I stopped the game 3 times and told you. You know what I mean? Like that, the manager just...
Yeah, one of them, innit?
Just before I have to...
You want to see, I mean,
Always one of the players going, what the fuck are you doing? Like, even if it was Pickford, go, what the fuck? And grab an hold of someone and go, what are you doing? Yeah. Why is he unmarked?
Pickford did walk out after that goal.
He does, yeah. That's what I was saying. Pickford had more right to be annoyed than anybody. He said, why is he getting the free header?
Smashes the ball into the roof of the net.
I know these are things where people go, well, what difference does it make? But it shows you some people actually care what is going on. Like, again. I mean, this is the problem. You look at Keane and you instantly understand what kind of person he is.
Yeah, anxious.
He's an anxious, timid man when it comes to playing football, and that for me is not what is required for what we have. I'm not saying he's not good. He's had a mixed season, been up and down. But what I'm saying is, you look at Zuma and
someone next to him.
You don't look at Zuma and go...
Zuma's very laid back.
You look at him and go, you know, he's just what he is. You don't... I want someone... I'll say it again. I looked at Connor Cody for them and I thought that's exactly what we need. There was one second half. I don't know if it was still 2-1. We got a free kick. It was a decent ball, but they won the first ever, and it dropped one of our players. And 3 of their players jumped in front of the ball.
Dropped to Michael Keane.
Jumped in front of the ball and made sure that ball went nowhere but out of the box.
Yeah.
And I was watching Cody later on because what else was there to do? I was just watching him, and the way they were going up the pitch, but at times he was just dropping off, having a little look, and then moving up again, and just it almost looked like he was working out all the angles.
Yeah,
like going through all the scenarios in his head of what could happen if this ball went here or there, and just making sure that he could see all the like just dropping back, seeing all the sight lines. Just little things like that. Just
he was screaming.
Intelligence, just a little bit of intelligence, and also just I look at someone like Jamie Carragher, who said he's going to do it tonight, which will be interesting. I tweeted him and he tweeted me back saying we're doing it tonight. So does that mean I have to watch that shite bit in the middle? Never got back to me on that, funny enough. And I look at him and I look at him as a defender, and he's the kind of defender that wins your trophies. Every team needs a player like that who you might look at and go, you know, you ain't a good footballer, but when
mouthy bastard.
But when you listen to him now, you realise how intelligent he was as a footballer, and how he knew his craft. Yeah. And I just look at us. Exactly. I remember a derby where can't remember what score it was, but we were odds on to win, odds on to score, and he never gave it up, and he got back and it hit him on the arse or something. And I remember at the time thinking, none of our players would ever do that. And I look at it now and I think the same thing. We wouldn't have a player that had the intelligence to understand that how a situation is breaking, so he would get himself back on the line.
Yeah.
I said this about Keane in the summer, didn't I? He can't smell danger. But that's all of our players. That's not just him.
Our whole defence.
That's
reactive, not proactive.
Yeah. Good defenders smell danger. They see scenarios working out and they understand. That's why we had people like David Weir who lasted as long as they could, as long as they did. Dave Watson. Alright, they mightn't get away with it now, but they played till like they were 37, 38.
Distan. I'm a big fan.
He could probably still play in our team now. They played the game so long and were leaders that they knew exactly the ball can only break in so many places. Yeah. It can only work in so many ways. You know, if a player plays a certain pass, he can only go one way or the other. We don't have that. We just don't have any defenders who grasp the concept. Look at them. They bought one centre back and it's revolutionised the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because he understands where that ball's going to be at all times. So he becomes the magnet for that ball.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'll meet, bang, gone, and everyone else feeds off that. So someone like Lovren instantly becomes a better defender because it's not on him anymore. He can do the other bits, or you know, Gomez looks brilliant for them because he's got.
That took them almost 3 years.
Well, it did.
That fans are still ripping him last Christmas.
Look at Company for City. Company's exactly the same for City.
Yeah.
When he wasn't in the team last year, they looked nervous. As soon as he come back, calm down. And now all those players that played alongside him, they've taken a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Taken a little bit of what he's got, and now he's not required all the time. It's hard to.
Could be Mina, that player. I hope Mina's that player.
But he's got to be given a chance, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think seriously Mina is that player.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he will, like, you know, he definitely, but I think he's that player that we've got at the club, can come in, get the basics of the Premier League, get the basics of understanding, you know, his English and all the rest of it.
Full of personality.
Communicating, get his feet under the table that he can, scream and shout at other people. Maybe he's a little bit too laid back at times. I mean, we always, you know, we went to Finch Farm and he's got this tuxedo on and he's seeing everybody's laughing because he was doing a photo shoot for something. And they were like, don't tell anyone he's doing this photo shoot. And he's having a laugh about it, and he's got trainees on, I wanted him to just be like, yeah, I'll take the picture, I'll look like that and fuck off. He was just dead nice, and every time you see him, he's dead nice. Yeah. We embraced that, where I was like, nice one cunts.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, as long as it's when he crossed the white line, that's all that matters, doesn't it? If he crossed the white line, and then you seen him.
Is he an arsehole on the pitch?
Well, he was fucking England, Colombia he was.
Yeah.
He was horrible. He was horrible in that game. They all
That's
were.
what I want. I want to see that, Mina.
Yeah. And that's the meaning.
yeah.
I want to see that from everyone.
Yeah.
I just want to see everyone being like that.
I just want to see. I just want to see us
us.
defend proper. I want to see it.
Enjoy defending.
Mean something
Again, I got
to keep a clean sheet.
I looked at their back four and they didn't want anyone to score past them. You see that a lot of teams. It hates them.
Yeah.
It hates them when they score goals. Does it look like it hates us? No, because we're just used to it now.
I love watching Atletico Madrid because they love defending.
Yeah.
They love tackling. They love getting it, putting the foot in. They love just booting the ball up in the air and seeing it go miles away. That's what I want to see.
The managers and their managers instilled that in them.
Yeah.
That's such an important part of their game. That it's you go to some places and you're like, well, we're already 2-0 down. So they go there and you think, well, you've got to fight to score a goal today.
That's why I like the Huddersfield win last week, because we got a bit of that last week.
Yeah.
We looked like it mattered to keep it clean. We were just wellying the ball away. I don't mind that. People will moan and go, behave. You want to pass it out for it? I don't.
No.
I want to see my team defend. Where I want to pass it is on the edge of their box and create something. I had no problem last week when we were smashing balls away, because Huddersfield were like, for fuck's sake, you've got to start again.
Yeah.
And that's what teams are. Saturday.
It demoralises teams.
That's it.
They're getting the ball forward and bang, it's back in their own half.
And then you're having to chase.
It happened to us second half on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had all that ball, and every time the ball came in the box, they just dealt it.
They've got to start all over again.
And then it starts again. And what it does is, when you welly it down there, it gives you a chance to get into shape,
get a breath,
get your low block like they did, make sure
get
there's
out,
nothing, get out there.
Yeah, throw up, yeah.
And you're like, too often it's like, no, we'll pass it here, we'll try and draw you in. We don't go nowhere. We don't go nowhere. So that's what, maybe it is this summer. Maybe it is. And I've defended Michael Keane, but maybe in the summer, if they can make Zuma permanent, they look for another centre back.
We spoke long enough.
Don't know. We have.
It's a session. It's a
therapy session.
Therapy session. Should be charging to come in. Got the couch now.
The couch is good.
Set,
It all looks relaxed. It's all good.
It does.
Yeah.
Chills it.
I like this couch. It's comfy.
Yeah, it is. See. There you go.
Me Marsen's the best. There you have it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on anything we spoke of. Big thanks to Paul. Paul, where can we see you and listen to you? Give yourself a plug.
I'll do the fan jury for the Apple.
Oh yeah,
people don't like that.
Don't give that a plug.
Forget that. I won't give me Twitter now, because you get weird old West Ham fans.
Oh, they love a rivalry, don't they? West Ham
I get weird. I just get weird everything. I had Liverpool fans on this Carragher thing, tweeting me and Carragher going, we're the best defence in the league. Why do you need to talk about us? Why does everything have to be about them?
I got West Ham fans saying we won the World Cup.
Well, they did win the World Cup. But then,
the only thing they've ever won.
But then they also...
I said that, and that went down very well.
They did win the World Cup, but then in 1970 they stole that jewellery in Bolivia. So, both ways, doesn't it? It works both ways. It works both ways. There you go. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see you later.